We're live here. How's it going, everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a little cool here in my studio. I need to put some heaters on. My name is Jose Trujillo. This is a hammer time, baby. I want to share with you guys. I wrote them down here. I want to give you guys some real tips, some real help for those of you who are artists. Okay, those of you who are career artists. I want to be able to share with you guys some notes here that I prepared for you guys. Okay, so these are the 3 rules of art career success. Okay, what do I get to write these things? First of all, because I'm a full-time artist, and I am having what some people consider art career success, right? Not everybody, but some people consider it, including myself and my wife and my son. They consider that too. So that's why I get to write it. If I wasn't having art career success, I would have never even fucking touched the subject, right? But because I'm experiencing it, that's why I'm sharing it. So the 3 rules for art career success. Okay. Rule number 1, numero uno. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Rule number 1, create more art, guys. You're not creating enough art. That's just the truth. You're not creating enough art. Create more art. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know, but the vast majority of artists don't create enough art. That's a big problem. It's a huge problem. It's a disadvantage if you're not creating enough art. So rule number 1, create more art. Okay, you need to get into the habit of creating more art. I don't know what that looks like. That might be switching mediums. Stinking dog. That might be switching mediums. That might be whatever. I don't know. Oil paintings, acrylics, drawings, whatever. But you got to create more art. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Create more art. Okay, 99% of artists don't create enough art, and that's why they have such a difficult time finding art career success. Right? I'm talking about monetary success, guys. I'm not talking about happiness and all that. You don't even need to be an artist to find happiness. Right? I'm talking about monetary shit that's gonna pay you. Number 2, numero dos. Okay, be in more places at the same time. Most artists, we get singular. I don't know why. I have no idea nor I care, but we get singular. And we're like, oh, I want to sell my artwork. So people start asking, where's the best place to sell art? And I'm like, really? This is the shit that keeps you small. There is no best place to sell the art. Be in as many places as you can. Be in more places at once. Have an art show. Have a gallery show. Be on Instagram. Be on YouTube. Be on Facebook. You know? Just be in as many places as you can. This is the thing that is going to separate you from the rest of the pack, from the rest of the artists. Most artists, they get singular. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go and get an art show. And that's all they focus on, you know? They focus on having an art show. And they don't know that it's just biting you in the butt, you know? It's biting you in the butt. You need to be in as many places as possible. If you're an artist, if you want art career success, okay? And again, the reason why I talk about this is because I am experiencing at some level art career success. I've been a full-time for almost a decade now, a full-time artist. And my first year, I started earning 6 figures, and then it just kept growing, and it kept growing, and now I'm earning much more than that. But it was because of these principles that I'm sharing here with you. Just three rules, 3 principles. Call them 3 rules for art career success. The first one was create more art. You're not creating enough art. You're just not. Most artists don't create enough art. We want to be able to get into a gallery, and we just create art for that, you know. But we don't think about, hey, what about online? What about, I don't know, what about an art fair? What about another art show? What about many stores online? We don't think about stuff like that. Normally we don't. And so that's why I'm here, so that I can get you to think stuff like that. If you haven't, maybe you have. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so that's number one, create more art. Number two is be in more places at once. Yes, it has to be at once. Okay, at the same time. So you want to have artwork on Instagram. You want to have artwork on Facebook. You want to have artwork on your .com page, whatever that is, your Shopify or whatever it is. You want to have artwork on Etsy. You want to have artwork on eBay. You want to have artwork on Saatchi Art, whatever. It doesn't matter. First Dibs, it don't matter. Have it in as many places as possible. And if you really want to do this, you should have 5 to 10 art shows running at the same time. This is why I go back to number one. You need to create more work. You're not creating enough work. See, most artists create a little collection and they're like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? And they're running around with their little collection, with their little 50 or 30 paintings or whatever, and they're running around everywhere in the same collection. Nothing bad. There's nothing wrong if it takes, I don't know, if it takes most of your space. Maybe they're huge paintings. Or maybe your paintings take a long time to do. I don't know. Maybe you're like this hyper realist painter, whatever, right? So maybe you can only create those paintings, that number of paintings. Okay, then if you can only create that number of paintings and it's very slow to create your artwork, then go back to number two, be in as many places at once. Get the same paintings and put them in as many places at once. You can't do that physically necessarily, right? You can't put the same 30 paintings in 30 different places. You can't do that physically unless you're doing it online. But what you can do is you can rotate them fast too. So you can do that online. You can put the same paintings in many different places, but you can also rotate them, right? Keep an art show every month, right? 12 art shows a year. Why not? Why not? It's like, anyways. I'm not going to go into a rant here. So, number three, constantly seek out new opportunities. If you're an artist and you're not seeking out new opportunities constantly, what is a new opportunity? A new opportunity doesn't only mean, where can I sell my work? Oh my God, where can I sell my work? It doesn't only mean that. It could also mean, could you participate in a blog? In someone's, I don't know, podcasts? Can you do your own podcast? Can you get into a YouTube? Can you open a YouTube channel and make a blog? Can you get into TikTok? TikTok. It used to be Musically. It could be online and offline. Can you generate a list of qualified buyers, qualified customers? Can you generate an email list? Right? You start getting those juices flowing, right? Can you go into a new art show? Can you go into a new art fair? Can you, all those things, seeking out new opportunities constantly. As you're doing this, as you're creating artwork, right? You got to create more artwork. And then be in as many places at once. Start dropping that artwork in different places while continue to go after new opportunities. This is the trifecta of art success, guys. This is the shit that makes it work. Ask anyone who's making it work. This is what they're doing. Anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they are, whether they're making 6, 7 figures or 8 figures a year selling artwork. This is what they're doing, guys. Jeff Koons has artwork all over the fucking world, right? And he keeps looking for new opportunities as he's creating more artwork, or his studio is, whatever, however you want to look at that. Peter Max, the same thing. Peter Max, I found out about 2 years ago that Peter Max was having an art show every weekend. He had an art opening. Just think about that for a second. How many art openings a year that is? He was having 4 art openings a month where he was physically there. This is pretty much close to the public speaker type of character. Very, very strong character. Anyways, and I'm going to give you an extra one because I feel generous this morning. Okay? The extra one is keep it all going, guys. Keep it all going. Some shit's going to fall. Some shit's going to fall. Some shit's going to break. Some shit's made out of rubber. It doesn't break. It's okay. Pick it up and throw it in the air again. Keep that plate spinning. It's okay. Pick it up. Throw it. If you're juggling balls, right? Juggling balls. Why do balls do that? Make that noise. I don't know. I didn't have much sleep last night. But keep it all going, guys. Keep it all going. Get the pulse, throw them in the air. It's important that you keep it all going, and it's important to realize that some shit is going to fall, and it's okay. What's up, my amigo? Some stuff is just going to fall, guys, and you can't sit there and cry and moan about it. Like, some shit's gonna fall, and it's okay. It's okay. That commission that you were trying to finish, it's not going to Andres says facts. Yeah, totally. That commission that you've been working on, that you're trying to land, it might not come through, right? Or it might take another 3 months to come through. Or that person might be sitting on that idea of inviting you to their podcast or inviting you to their art gallery or whatnot. This is why you don't rely on anything, guys. I was talking about this last night. You can't rely on anything. Do not put your faith on any of this shit. Don't rely on any of it, A lot of shit's gonna fall. Yeah. Don't rely. Don't put your faith on any of it. Like, don't think, oh, if I just do gallery shows, I'm gonna be all right. No. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Do some gallery shows, but don't put your faith on it. Go online too. And go do some art fairs and go do other stuff and open an Instagram. Well, those of you who are watching Instagram already, open a YouTube channel and put some stuff. Do some videos. Maybe it's just you talking about art. That's how I grew that's how I'm growing my YouTube channel. Just me talking about art. I hardly ever paint anymore. For the YouTube channel, most of the stuff is me talking about art. And people like that. People prefer that over me painting. They've expressed to me over and over. So, and I like that better because there's so many painting channels, right? I wanted to make my channel about something else, what people were not talking about, like this kind of stuff. Most artists are not talking about this. Most artists are talking about, most artists are talking about bullshit, about mixing colors and how do you make this color and all that. Well, it's bullshit, None of that is going to put any money in your table, in your pockets, I guess. Food on the table, money in the pocket. Bros on Mash says, I just spoke to my first porn star last night. I thought she was an Instagram model. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. So I'm gonna run this 3 again, okay? I'm gonna run the 3 steps again, guys. Those of you who are late to the game, I'm going to be generous with you. I'm going to give you the 3 steps again. 3 rules, okay? 3 rules to art career success. Those of you who are like, man, I want to make this work. I'm not talking about happiness or peace, okay? You don't need rules for happiness or peace. I don't think you do anyways. You can do that on your own. I'm talking about generating income, okay? Some people are like, well, you don't know what success is. Success is different for everyone. I'm talking about if you want to sell your shit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about happiness. Okay, it's a whole different thing. Because I feel like sometimes I get these messages on YouTube. Like, people are like, you can't put a label on success as an artist. I'm like, all right. People just come up with these ideas to keep doing mediocre work. Like, I'm talking about income. I'm not talking about happiness. It's completely different. CTT847. You gotta put a name on that thing. Says, is it hard to make a living as an artist? Yes, it's very hard. Also, why is it so arbitrary? Why some art gets huge and some art does not? Because it's the same as acting. You could be a great actor, but if Hollywood doesn't pick you up, Hollywood doesn't pick you up. It's just like being actors. You could be great at what you're doing, but it doesn't mean that you need to be known. In other words, there's plenty of actors out there better than what's his name? Brad Pitt or any of the other, Brad Pitt is a good actor, but any of the other shitty actors that we see on TV all the time, there's plenty of actors that are much better than those guys, but those guys have bigger balls than the rest. You know, they go and get the jobs, and that's why that's why they get paid more. It's not about, it's at some point, it's not about talent, it's about cojones, and that's what separates them. For example, the balloon artist, just why? The balloon artist has some big balls. Jeff Koons, he's a business guy. He's not your average artist. He sells artwork to countries. He's not your average artist. He didn't just come up with ideas about making big balloons, big balloon art. That guy was mentored by Salvador Dali. He's not your average, artist who's like painting on a garage, in a garage somewhere. That guy's big cojones. They're businesses. They're huge businesses. Just like Damien Hirst, he goes and pays someone to get a huge shark and put it in formaldehyde. Right? That's his very big, bold move. Not everybody's willing to do that. Some people could say, well, I could have thought of that. Thought of it is one thing, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people said, let's go to the moon. A lot of people thought about it, but someone had to get there. Very different. So I'm going to run the 3 rules for artistic success again, okay? 3 rules. Again, artistic success meaning getting paid, okay? Getting paid. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to go on a rant. I was tempted to go on a rant again, but I'm not. Number 1, Koons is a production manager. Yeah, Koons is a production manager, just like Michelangelo was, just like Rodin, right? Auguste Rodin. He was a production manager. He wasn't the sculptor. He wasn't the guy creating all the sculpting. The sculpting was done in Italy. He wasn't doing the sculpting. He's a production manager. That's cool. So if Koons is a business, is Banksy an anti-business? Oh no, Banksy is definitely not anti-business. Banksy is very much a business too. It's just the Batman of businesses. They're just trying to make it look like they're not in business, but they're pretty much in business. If they were not in business, they wouldn't keep doing what they're doing. They're getting funded. What type of paper do you paint on to sell? Any type of paper, whatever you can get your hands on, Filomena, whatever you can get your hands on. It doesn't matter. If you can get, art paper, artistic paper, the better. But it doesn't matter what. The important thing is that you get paper and you get started. I like using watercolor paper for most of the stuff, or multimedia paper. Just because I throw water on it, right? I throw lots of water, whether I'm doing ink washes or mixed media or watercolors or acrylics. I use a lot of water, so I like to use thicker paper or paper that can withstand strength, like mixed media, multimedia paper. It's cheap. It's not expensive. It's, I don't know, depending where you go, but it's like $10 for a few of them, for a few sheets, 18 by 24 sheets. You can get them at any Michaels or anywhere. You can get very cheap. Filomena says, should the art show be free of charge or just sell the paintings? I don't understand. Like the art show, like you inviting people and having people pay you to attend the art show? Is that what you mean? Because if that's what you mean, that's not how it works. But if you're talking about, if what you mean is you paying the gallery to have an art show, that's called a vanity show. Those are usually predatory galleries that do that, or galleries that have kind of lost their swing. They don't know how to sell anymore, or they don't have salespeople, so they rely on bullshit scams. They're scams, bullshit scams to get artists to show the work. A lot of art galleries are working like that, unfortunately. A lot of them are not, but a lot of them are. They charge you a fee to put work on their wall. Basically, what they do is, oh, we can't sell artwork. We suck. We're fucking idiots. We can't sell any artwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to start charging artists wall space. And that's, our clients are not going to be art collectors. This is what the idiot art galleries are doing. Our clients are not going to be art collectors. Our clients are going to be the artists that are burning to exhibit. We're going to get their money from them. Horrible fucking business model. And it's gonna end in no time. As soon as artists start waking up, hopefully. I don't know if maybe that's just a long shot. Maybe that's wishful thinking on my end. Artists need to stop trying to pay galleries for that. Mugatu519 says, how do you price your artwork? Example per square inch? That's one way of doing it. I don't do it per square inch. I started that way at some point. I just price artwork, and then I did it so much that I started understanding sort of my little balancing act. It's different for every artist, I think. What you are looking for is what you feel comfortable charging. Honest to God, what you're looking for is what you feel like comfortable charging. Like if you're okay getting a painting this size and charging $2,000, right? And if you can get away with it, I am probably the only artist saying this. If you can get away with it, please do it. Okay? Please do it. If you can get a watercolor like this, and you can get away with selling it for $2,000, you heard it from me. Please do it. Do yourself a favor and do it. Most artists think that they have to start from the bottom. That's how I started. But it doesn't mean that. I've seen plenty of artists not start from the bottom. That's just because my paradigm was crappy, right? So I had to start from the bottom. I still sell paintings this size, watercolors this size for like $70, $50, $200 at most. But I know plenty of artists who they're not as stupid as I am. And they sell at pretty good prices because they can get away with it. Right? And what I mean get away with it is no one's scamming anyone, guys. It's just your paradigm. It's how you feel about yourself, right? If you put that work in as many places, high-end galleries as possible, you're going to start selling it at $2,000. Yes, you will. You will. But the problem of the artist is not the price point, is that no one's really watching what you're doing. That's the problem. Let me continue to read here. CTT847 says, do you think Etsy's and social media has reduced the gallery power? Yeah, totally. Yeah, they removed it. I mean, Instagram has definitely reduced the power of the galleries. Galleries are trying to get into Instagram. By the way, if you're not going hard on Instagram and all the other stuff, all the other places, it's going to be harder in a couple of years because galleries are going to start putting in money in it. Galleries are going to start putting in money in it, and well, I'm going to take that back. Because there's a lot of galleries out there who are kind of pendejo. They're kind of stupid. They don't get it. Like, Facebook ads are so inexpensive in our sector, in the art industry, and galleries still don't jump into it. So I'm going to take that back. Just keep doing what you're doing. Galleries just don't catch up. I don't know. They're still in the cave times. They're like, oh, my postcard works, so I'm gonna send another postcard. There's nothing wrong with the postcard. The postcard does work. That's why they keep doing it, right? The email list through postcards and shit like that. But it doesn't mean that Facebook doesn't work either. It works just as good as the postcard. In many ways, even better. But it doesn't mean you should choose one over the other. You should have both, right? Filomena says, sorry, can I just set up my own art show at a space that I rent and sell my art at the show? Of course you can. Absolutely. And you can also pay a gallery if you want to, if it's worth it. Okay? So don't think that because I say that galleries are fucking bastards charging artists for wall space, it might mean something at some point. Right? If you have enough traffic there, if there's enough traffic, if there's like, I don't know, 5,000 art buyers or people, right? Art buyers. 5,000 people walking through the booth, right? Through those booths. And the gallery is charging you $2,000 to exhibit. It might be worth it, right? It might be worth it. As a matter of fact, it's worth it if you're rolling. But if you rely on that, it's a problem. Okay, if you're rolling, what I mean is that if you're doing that, you're doing Instagram, you're in another gallery show, you are selling from your own.com, you are doing videos like this, you're on YouTube, you're doing different stuff, right? If you're sending out emails, you're sending out postcards. It doesn't mean that you have to do like tons of it. Like that would be the magical thing, right? Having a million people email list, sending 1,000 postcards a week, right? That would be like, oh my God, that'd be magical. Right? Having a personal assistant, being on Instagram 12 hours a day, DMing and fucking liking and commenting, that'd be like, oh my God, that'd be awesome. But not everybody has that power, right? So what I recommend is send out 3 little postcards every day. Send out 2 or 3 little postcards. Send out 10 little emails every day. Every day. Don't spend more than 15 minutes on any activity. I just gave you my secret. Boom. It's not a secret. It's hard work, but people say that it's a secret. Andres says, what is your view on pop-up art shows where artists have to pay for one night wall space? I think that's great. Again, I go back to the same thing. All of it. If you can afford it, do it. What's my view? I'm going to tell you guys right now. What's my view on Art Basel, Miami, or whatever in was it Miami? Yeah, in Florida. Do it if you can afford it. What's my view on Etsy? Do it if you can afford it. What's my view on Facebook ads? Do it as much as you can afford it. My view on Instagram ads. Do it as much as you can afford it. I do everything, guys, as much as you can afford it. As much as you can afford it. If it's just one of you, one person, do them all as opposed to do just one. Do them all. And don't give more than 10, 15 minutes on each activity. Because it's going to accumulate over a year, 15 minutes every day of something, right? 15 minutes every day, 15 minutes. Like 3 little postcards, right? In a year, it's 900, if not 1,000, because it's 365 days, right? But let's say that you choose not to do 65 days of the year. It's 900 postcards. A year. It's better than whatever you sent out last year. I promise that. I'm very sure about that. If you just send 3 little postcards to prospects or to people who bought something from you, thanking them, being like, thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate you buying my painting. I hope you enjoy it for the rest of your life. And it's a great heirloom for your family. You've made a wise investment, Mary. Thank you. Kindest regards. Andres. Boom. You send that postcard. 3 postcards like that every single day. If someone hasn't bought from you, I just wanted to say hi. That's all. It was great meeting you at that gallery, or thank you so much for saying those wonderful things about my artwork, or whatever, right? Send a little postcard. Maybe it's their birthday, right? Rather than just writing something, which you should on Facebook, happy birthday, Mary. Find out, Mary has a birthday today. Okay, I'm going to put it in my calendar. Next year, right? Next year, it's going to remind me. Mary has a birthday. Send out a postcard a week before. Send out a postcard to Mary a week before. 3 little postcards, 900 a year. 3 little phone calls. 3 little phone calls a day. 900 phone calls a year. 3 little phone calls. How's it going, Mary? My name's Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. You were looking at my artwork and you bought something from me, right? You bought something from me. I just wanted to say thank you. I didn't get to personally thank you. Thank you so much for being such a great collector. Have a wonderful day. Clicky dicky, because most of them are not even going to pick up, right? Click. That's it. You left a voicemail, whatever, and you send a postcard, and you left something on Instagram, and you DM'd Mary. Mary's been attacked in 5 different ways, right? All of a sudden, Mary's like, dude, this guy's for real, right? This guy's for real. This guy's not playing around. You're in the back of Mary's mind. Next time Susie says, or William, or or Pancho says, hey, you know, I'm looking for some artwork for my apartment. Mary's going to be like, oh, look no further. There's this artist. He's the real deal. You got to check it out. Because it's in the back of Mary's head now. Right? Bros watch this. I saw a Vincent Desiderio 8x10 for $8,000. Yeah. Galleries are big in Los Angeles right now. In Los LAs. Yeah, galleries are big in Los LAs right now. Galleries are definitely big in LA right now. That's a genius move on the gallery's part. Yeah, it's a very dark genius move because they don't have to rely on collectors anymore. They rely on hungry artists, right? I mean, a hustle is a hustle. It's just a nasty hustle. I don't like it. Nasty hustle, you know, because it's promising artists something, and it's promising exposure to artists, but most artists don't know this. Okay, the exposure, it's very expensive for the most part, unless it's good exposure, it makes sense. But the exposure that the galleries is trying to sell to you for that $1,000-$2,000 wall space or whatever, it's very expensive, 99% of the time. And numero dos, it only makes sense if you're already moving. If you're not moving, right? Again, if you're not in action mode, if you're like, oh man, I'm going to go do this guy. This happened to me. That's why I get to talk about it like that. Because this shit happened to me. Someone invited me to New York like 15 years ago. You know, they're like, oh my God, we've been seeing your artwork. And I was like, really? My artwork? New York? Oh yeah. Chelsea? All right, let's do it. And my sorry ass goes over there, right? And basically the guy just fucking steals from me, you know? And it taught me a very important lesson. A few, right? But it taught me a very important lesson. Never rely on one thing. It would have been all right, looking back, to do a move like that. It would have been all right if I had 100 other moves like that. You know? If I had 100 other moves. If I was putting stuff online, if I had another, 100 different places where people could see my art. By the way, they don't have to be physical. They could be an email. They could be a text message. They could be an Instagram post. They could be a Twitter. They could be whatever, right? And they could be Twitter 10 times a day, Instagram 10 times a day, right? You have to get exposure. But most artists try to get exposure in one line, and that's where things fuck up. We all try to get exposure in one line. We're like, I'm a gallery guy. I know so many gallery guys that they're fucking starving, you know, like, because that's all they're like horses. They're like gallery. I'm like, dude, what about an email list? What about participating in the community somewhere else? You know, galas, like people that are working on some sort of humanitarian aid or something, they contact me all the time, and they're like, hey, would you like to donate a painting? Because we auction them. Right? Would you like to donate a painting? And when I say yes, guess what happens? They send me tickets to go there and invite me. Sometimes I fly there. Sometimes it's close by, the next city over, or the city where I live in. Right? What happens when I attend that place? Well, the promoters, the people creating the gala, which, by the way, it's usually nice. It's, you know, you have to wear a suit and, you know, drink a little champagne, and it's not bad, right? The upside of it really is that the people promote you to the players, to the people with the funds. They promote you with them. They're like, this is the artist. And if you have your hustle on, if you're like vibrating high, if you have your hustle on, you get contacts from those people that are players, people that can afford a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 painting, even more, right? You get those contacts and you put them aside. You shake their hands, you rub their elbows with your elbow, right? And you go home. Nothing happens. You go home, right? Sometimes you get lucky and someone says, oh my God, I've been looking for a painting like that. How much would you do it? Can we talk about a painting like that for me? Sometimes you get lucky. That happens, right? Most of the time you don't. And this is where artists miss it. They're like, well, what would happen? Why would I give my artwork away? Because you got to meet 10 fucking people in power positions. That's why it's good, right? You get their cards. You go home. Okay? You go home. Immediately after you go home, you don't put it off. Immediately, that fucking moment that you get to the hotel room or home. Oh my God, these people keep sending me messages. You get a little postcard and you say, Mr. Mayor, it was great meeting you. What an honor. Oh my God, guys. Okay, I get it. What an honor to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever, you know? And nothing. You're not selling them. Don't sell them. You begin a relationship. You send them a little postcard. You don't spam them, right? You don't spam them. And you do that with the other 9 people or 10 people or 20 people that you collected business cards from. Miss, I don't know, dentist, right? Miss lawyer, Miss whatever, right? Mr. Mover and Shaker of this small town. It was great meeting you last night at the gala for blah blah blah. I don't know, awareness of whatever, right? There's always awareness of something. It was a pleasure meeting you. That's it. Kindest regards, Jose Trujillo. My phone number, my cell number. That's it. You send that out, right? That's all you got to do. You can go to Facebook and friend request them. Most of them because you sent them something, because they met you, because it's hot, because the iron is hot. You just met them, right? They're gonna say, yeah, oh yeah, this person, yeah, I met him last night. That was the artist. Oh yeah, or I met him. Don't even wait a night. You could just ask them, because most people have their fucking phones on them all the time, right? Like as soon as you walk away, you can friend request them as soon as the gala is over, or as you're walking away. And they're gonna be like, oh yeah. And then guess what Facebook is going to do? Facebook is so nice. Guess what Facebook's going to do? Facebook is going to remind you when their birthday is. And if you're not paying attention to that with movers and shakers, you're shooting yourself in the foot, man. You know? Mr. Mayor, Mr. Dentist, Mr. whatever, right? Mrs. Big Business Owner, Mr. CEO that can actually afford those prices of those big paintings. Facebook tells you when their birthday is. Now you're not spamming them because you met them. You rubbed their shoulder and you shook their hand. Right? Now you have permission to send them something on their birthday. Something. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a nice little postcard, right? Or it could be a really nice matted print with a postcard as a little birthday present. Nothing ridiculous. Nothing out of... No, just something small so that they can remember you. And you just keep the communication. Now, most people are like, well, that's stupid. When is that going to turn into a sale? Maybe never. Maybe never. Maybe never. But what if you have another 100 things like that going on at the same time? This is what people don't get, man. Like, everybody's like too stuck on one thing, right? Everyone's stuck on one thing. How can I get my money from here? And it doesn't come from here all the time. Sometimes you sell a watercolor. Sometimes you sold something that you auction on eBay. Sometimes someone calls you from a gallery and says, hey, dude, you sold something. Oh, really? I sold something? Yeah, well, it would be obvious, right? You have like 10 gallery shows running at the same time. There's a chance you're going to be selling something probably every week. You sold something. Oh, cool. You know? And that's how this shit works, right? That's when it makes sense. So if you're trying to get your work into a place and someone's charging you, it makes sense if you can afford it. It makes sense if you can afford it. And it makes sense if you have those things running. If multiple things are running. Right? It's the secret of secrets, guys. It's the secret of secrets. It's like it's the holy grail of making income as an artist. You know, you have to have many balls in the air. You have to be juggling. And the cool thing is that most of those things don't matter. Like most of those things don't matter. And most of those things, it's like planting seeds. Most of those things are probably not going to bloom. Some of them will. But what's going to happen is that it's what it does to you. It gets you on a cycle of moving and shaking. It gets you on a cycle of understanding opportunity. You start looking at opportunity and you start thinking differently than the average artist. You start waking up a little bit earlier. You start going to bed a little bit later. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you still sleep your 9 hours, 8 hours, whatever you do. It doesn't matter. You get that advantage, that edge over everyone else. You just get that edge. You start sending those postcards, you start making those phone calls, you start shaking some hands. If you are an artist and you're not going to every art opening exhibit in your town, you're shooting yourself right on the fucking leg. Like, you're doing it on your own. The reason why it's not working is because you're fucking up on your own. Like, you should be visiting every gallery show, every opening. Every weekend, there's an opening. You should be going and meeting those people, not trying to get something from them. Planting a seed. It's fertile ground, guys. Plant a seed. Go meet the artists. Because the artists could become your friend and they could introduce you to the gallery owner. Go meet the gallery owners. If possible, contribute. How can you? It doesn't always have to be like you're going to buy a postcard or something. You could, I don't know, buy something if you can. But possible, it might not be that. It might be that you pull out your phone and you tell the gallery owner, look, I got 10,000, whatever, right? Followers on Instagram. Can I do a snap and share it on my Instagram post? What do you think the gallery owner is going to say to you? You're asking them permission to give them free advertisement. A free ad. What do you think they're going to say? No, please don't. I mean, if they're idiots, they'll probably say that, but it's very rare. They're going to say, oh my God, thank you. You have 10,000? Because most gallery owners don't even have like 2,000 followers on Instagram. You see a lot of gallery owners on Instagram here, they have no followers because they never put energy into that. Because they become singular, right? This is working for me only. My roster, my Rolodex of art collectors. And so that works for them. And they're missing out on other markets. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation. But here's what I wanted to share with you guys, okay? And so I'm going to run through them really quick again. The 3 rules for art career success. Numero uno. Number 1, create more art. You're not creating enough art. Number 2, be in more places at once, at the same time. Okay, be in different places. Be on Twitter. Be on your website. Be on Etsy. Be on a gallery show. At the same time, not one here and then 2 weeks later you're going to be somewhere else. No, at the same time, because you're upping your chances. I cannot express this more. You're upping your chances of selling something. Really hard. Really fast. Number 3, constantly seek out new opportunities. Yeah, and the extra one is keep it all going at the same time. You got to keep it all going, right? Keep it all going at the same time. Mugatu 519 says this was awesome. Thank you so much, Jose. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. By the way, here's my pitch. At the end of this, I throw my pitch. Not always, but I'm gonna do it because I can. I offer art coaching. Okay, I do coaching, one-on-one phone conversation coaching, or Skype, or not Skype, Zoom coaching calls for the most part, and phone. With other artists, for artists. My fee is $300 an hour. It's very low, guys, for the amount of shit that I'm going to share with you that can literally change your art career. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm a painter. I'm an artist as well, but I do that on the side, right? I'm starting to do that more on the side. So if any of you are interested or know someone who's interested in coaching, or if you thought that I might know what I'm talking about, and you have questions, or maybe you're not ready for art coaching, maybe you have questions, DM me. I'll be more than happy to assist you. I always get back to people. If I don't, well, you know then that one of those balls fell. Because I do drop balls from time to time, and I have to pick them up again. Osmel says, I spent 3 months in 3 works, and I haven't had a chance to show it in a gallery. I get that, Osmel. If your work takes a long time, you need to go virtual. Then you need to go online. You need to go email lists. You need to go Instagram. How can you get other people on Instagram sharing your work? Right? Maybe you're gonna have to get creative with that. Exchange something. It's not always money. For the most part, it's usually money, right? There's a lot of pages on Instagram that'll charge you $10, $15, $20 that have 500,000 followers or whatever to show one of your images. How many of those could you do a month? All right, but don't just rely on that. That's the kiss of death. Okay, I messed up there myself. Don't do that. Just use that, but also do other things, right? Online. If your artwork takes a long time to create, it's just the way it is, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you have to get creative in a different. You have to be flexible, like Bruce Lee. You have to be like water. Take the shape of the vase, right? You have to take the shape of the vase. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist, and I'm introducing coaching to other artists, for other artists. I have shown a handful of artists now how I started, how I went from nada, from zero. This was about almost a decade ago, from zero to, what was it, $9,000 a month, $100,000 a year. Yeah. If you want to learn how to do that, how I did that, because I can't be like, well, you're going to do it, but you can't say that shit in here. It's nowhere, right? You can't say, well, I'm going to show you how to, no, how I did it. And hopefully you can learn something from it. Contact me and I'll show you how I did it. I'll walk you step by step how I went to $10,000, $100,000, sorry about that, $100,000 a year selling artwork. That's what I'm working on. Thank you, Jose. Awesome. You're welcome, Osmel. Lisa says, what do you think about giving art as a gift? The person that gets the gifts posts the price on Insta. That's an excellent thing. Just, it's got to be fast though. Okay? Because remember, you got to do many things, right? My model is many things. Not get stuck on one. My model is not use Instagram and just do Instagram, right? My model is do Instagram and 100 other things. So if you're going to be giving art away, which is a fantastic idea, I would highly, highly, highly suggest something like this, 6x9, no more than like 10 inches around, watercolor, oil, acrylic, whatever. Don't do little stuff, because people don't find value. Like something that, people can be like, you can even do a little video and be like, look, guys, if you want to, if you want to put, I don't know, if you want this free thing, right? I'll send it to you, but what I need in exchange, what I'm only asking is that you put it on your Insta page or whatever, on your Insta wall, not on the stories, on the wall, right? On the Instagram wall, and look for people that have at least 1,000 or more followers. Because if you do 10 of these a week and you're able to send them out to them, right? I don't know. It's like another 10,000 extra. This is just like having, like if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram and you do that with 10 people, right? If you do that with 10 people, you just earn yourself another 10,000 followers that day. If you do it with 100 people, it's another 100,000 followers, right? It's very powerful stuff. You just got to do it. And don't forget to put the link of where people can buy your stuff on your Instagram, guys. Like, that's super important. Come on, don't leave that. Don't get people to go there and not have somewhere where they're like, hey, where can I buy this? Or what do you do? Or where are your YouTube videos? Or what's your deal, right? Got to put a link there. Bro says, how much should a website cost set up? A website for like personal website for you, like a Squarespace website, it shouldn't be more than $20 a month at most. Personally, I wouldn't worry about that. That would be like that's not the first step, I would put myself on Etsy right away. Because it's a marketplace already. People are going there to your web. No one's going to go to your website. I'm not being mean or anything. Just being honest. No one's going to go to your website unless you start driving traffic there. And driving traffic to a website is very fucking difficult and very fucking expensive. It's possible. It's doable. But it's much better if you open somewhere where people are already used to going and spending money there. Right? Like on Etsy, people are going there and they're like, they're on Etsy, people are going with their credit card in their hand. They go and they put their credit card next to their computer or whatever, their phone, and then they start buying shit. Right? That's how people visit Etsy. Your website, they're gonna go on, they're gonna click and be like, oh, that's nice. But they're not thinking buy, right? Etsy, they're thinking buy. They have their credit card and they put it there. They're scrolling through stuff. It's very different. Yes, I am a genius. All right, guys, take care. Take it easy. And if you want coaching, let me know. DM me. We'll make it happen. All right? Peace out, amigos.